Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to all of you. Here we are again at the Student Bulletin this week. I cannot wait to get into some art here with you guys and do a little bit of drawing. Looks like we've got Bonnie checking in, Tina is here, Renee, Celeste, Jason in Colorado, John and Robert are here. Fantastic. Good to see these familiar names that I love seeing every Friday and at all of our other events. Margaret is also here. Mama Bear is with us. Kat, Stephanie, Missy is here. Yes, John, you pointed out I don't have my glasses on. And I'm glad you brought that up because I actually haven't seen them since yesterday. They're somewhere in this house, but they're just not on my face at the moment. So you caught me and reminded me I need to go look for those after this broadcast if I'm going to be on a computer all day. All right, well, let's get right into it. You guys had some amazing artwork in the SkoolYard this week. You've been really busy bees, whether it's being inspired by the book Freehand or drawing with us at Draw With Me, drawing some Mozart portraits this week, Beethoven, how dare I? Beethoven portraits this week that were really fun. But you guys have been up to a lot, so let's get into it. I wanted to share this daily page from Kim because apparently this week was National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. I didn't know that was a holiday. If I had known, I would have been slamming some chocolate covered strawberries. But I just thought Kim's drawing to commemorate that silly holiday was so scrumptious. So Kim, thank you for sharing that. Definitely made me want some chocolates. Kanekar has been experimenting with gouache and actually did this portrait of Paul Klee, a famous painter or artist. And I just love the values that he was able to achieve with the gouache here. And I think it turned out so beautiful. And the pinks and the greens, really nice contrast here. So definitely mastering gouache. I think this is a beautiful portrait. Irinka, one of our student community members, has been doing a challenge, and she's been drawing for 30 minutes a day and intends to do it for 30 days, so she'll wind up with 30 drawings. And she's been leading this challenge on Instagram, so you can find it if you search 30 minutes, 30 days, 30 drawings. And she's just been documenting, doing some urban sketching around her, documenting the people when she runs errands. And I think it's been an interesting little record of kind of what's going on in the world right now. And I think that it's been cool. She's been able to capture that in her daily drawings. So thanks for sharing that. Good to see you, Catherine and Corinne, coming in. Corinne says she has a package of chocolate-covered everything. That sounds great to me. Another student, Chika, we've seen a lot of hands this week. I'm not sure what's been in the air, but a lot of you have been drawing hands. And Chika mentioned working through our art boot camp course and kind of getting sidetracked wanting to focus on her hands instead of the homework assignments in art boot camp, which is never a bad thing to kind of see where your inspiration takes you and go down those rabbit holes. So Chika did this really cool drawing of a hand that she hadn't really done a lot of hand drawings. And I think it has so much character and personality. And another student, Missy, also shared her before and after hand drawings that she did from How to Draw Without Talent. And I thought it was so sweet that Missy shared stories about the rings on her fingers, and it really told a lot about her. So I think that by looking at someone's hands, I think it's so fascinating that you can learn a lot about them. And even looking at your own hands, you can remember things about yourself, maybe see jewelry that means a lot to you, but also scars and things about your personality that might show up in your hands. So I thought it was really cool to see so many hands in the SkoolYard this week. Kind of a tired old subject, seemingly, but when we look at them, they're really interesting. Another student, Helen, has been working with the inspiration prompts being provided in the SkoolYard following the book Freehand by, I think it's Helen Birch is the author. So Helen, another artist, did this drawing, and the prompt was monochromatic, line, and repetition. And she did these beautiful little stockings, all in black and white, and I think it was such a beautiful little drawing. So thank you for sharing that, Helen. And for anyone interested in the book Freehand, we've got a topic for that in the SkoolYard. And every Friday, people are posting a different prompt to kind of keep you inspired. And this week's prompt was actually shared by the author herself, who joined the SkoolYard and has been participating, which has been a lot of fun. Looks like we've got some more folks checking in, which is great. We have Zana, Renat is here, Anka, Holly is here. Excellent. So good to see all of you. Another student, I wanted to share this really loose, fun watercolor portrait that Andrea shared. And the reason that I loved this, it's just a really simple portrait, but I love the looseness of it and how just as much is going on in these white spaces as is going on in the colorful spots and in places where she added value. So I really liked the sort of looseness of this portrait, and kind of what's left out I think is really fascinating here, which is why that grabbed my eye. Anka shared this adorable little image, a little collage kind of altered image that she created, and it just was a really festive little take on the North Pole and what the penguins are up to, and I thought it was so cute and so festive. So Anka, thank you for getting in the Christmas spirit with us. Lisa is asking the author's name of Freehand. I believe it's Helen Birch. I have it on my bookshelf. It's Helen Birch. Yes. Helen Birch is the author. Yes, thank you, Holly. Yeah. Another student, Isel, shared this really cute little cup of coffee and stroopwafel, which looked really yummy to me. But she wrote that brewing herself a cup of coffee is a way of parenting herself. And I just thought that was such an interesting way to think about just self-care and kind of doing something nice for yourself, and taking care of yourself and enjoying such a nice little cup of coffee and a sweet is kind of a way to be kind to yourself. So Isel, I just loved how you put this into a drawing, and it's so simple, but it's so sweet. Another student, Candace, was inspired this week by our weekly image that I post on Monday mornings. We had a lovely little majestic reindeer image, and she turned it into this amazingly festive, kind of snowy, Christmassy holiday reindeer. And I just love this little accoutrement that he got on his antler, and I think it was so effective. So Candace, your composition here is great. I mean, it's based on the image, but the way you use negative space to kind of interpret it is really cool. So thank you for sharing that with us. And another student, Allison, took our recent workshop for Ian Fennelly's Watercolor Your Home, and she's actually been going back through and watercoloring places that she's lived in the past, kind of as a way to remember the places that she used to live. I don't know about you, but growing up, I lived in one place, one house, but then in college I moved around and I had a series of apartments from year to year. Felt like I was always moving each year, finding a different place to live just for fun, basically. Our roommate situations would change, and it's really fun to think about that part of your personal history, and how you can document that by drawing these things. So I love that Allison was drawing all these places that she's lived, kind of as a personal record, and I love that idea. So thank you for sharing that, Allison. It's awesome. And for this week's drawing that we're going to do together, I would encourage you to take out a sketchbook or iPad or whatever you use to draw. And in keeping with our theme this month, every Friday I try to share a different sort of holiday-related image, whether it's a prompt to get you to think about your favorite object around the holidays, your favorite food. And this week I wanted to focus on plants. And I think Corinne is here in the audience, so she is probably going to cringe or be excited by this, I'm not sure. But I think about plants around the holidays and which plants are kind of the go-to holiday plants. And I would love for you to share or draw your favorite holiday, whether it's plant or decoration. I actually chose poinsettias, but the funny thing is I don't really like red poinsettias. I'm never drawn to those around the holidays. We don't usually buy them or have them around. But there is a different poinsettia called a Mars Marble, and it's this beautiful kind of tie-dye poinsettia. And I was really drawn to it because it's not your typical Christmas color palette. So this is the image that I chose. But I would encourage you to think about a plant or some kind of decor that makes you think of the holidays, whatever that means for you. And I'm going to go ahead and start our timer. You can use this image if you want, or you can think of something, whether it's holly or wreaths or things that you hang around your home for decor. But think about something natural that makes you think of the holidays. It could be a Christmas tree. That's totally an obvious one that I didn't actually think of. But think about something that you use for decoration or could be a plant that makes you think of the holidays. And I'm going to go with this Mars Marble Poinsettia. For some reason, I just really like the color. I like that it's kind of different from your standard, holiday poinsettia. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to use some big, fat, chunky markers to do this. So for anyone that's not sick of poinsettias, this is a Mars Marble Poinsettia. So feel free to draw this or draw another plant, something else that makes you think of the holidays that is either for decor or just something that you like to have around your house. And that's what we're gonna go with today. And I didn't even know why poinsettias are kind of the go-to holiday plant. So of course I did some research. And it turns out the shape of them, they say represents or can kind of look like the Star of Bethlehem, and that the red stands for the blood of Christ in Christmas. So that's kind of why they wound up being our de facto holiday plant symbol. But I just like the variations and the different kinds of poinsettias that there are. And Corinne is saying that she actually had one of those with a little more red in it. So yeah, I think this Mars Marble is kind of interesting. But I would encourage you to just pick a plant that kind of makes you think of the holidays or some sort of natural decor that you might see a lot of in the holidays during the holiday time. And when that's whatever holiday you're celebrating, it doesn't have to be Christmas. It could be any holiday. If there's something that you like decorating your home with that you want to think about right now and draw, that's what I would encourage you to do. And right now I'm going to use these big Posca pens to do this Mars Marble Poinsettia. And like I said before, I'm not normally drawn to poinsettias. I just get kind of tired of them. My mom had them when I was growing up every Christmas, and I just think they're kind of boring. That's just me. But I really love that there are different kinds of poinsettias. I didn't know that there were anything different than red or white. And there's pink ones, and Xana is saying she likes the pink ones too. So yeah, there's variations that I didn't even know about. So I'm glad that I did a little digging. And I know actually Corinne has been doing a lot with poinsettias and her holiday cards. So I actually thought of her and I was like, I'm going to give poinsettias a chance because I really like Corinne's art. So I'm going to look into them and see if I can find a poinsettia that I like. And lo and behold, it's a Mars Marble apparently. Would not mind having one of these around. So this is what I went with. But I hope all of you might interpret this differently and do something different for your plant or whatever it is that kind of makes you think of the holidays. I chose to do this on a piece of patterned, the inside of an envelope. I'm actually regretting because it's really hard to see. But I had an envelope from a card someone gave me and I was like, oh, that would make really cool paper to draw on. But it wasn't the best choice. But at any rate, it's kind of fun to draw a poinsettia that looks a little bit different than your standard poinsettia fare. So I hope that you were able to draw something that maybe makes you think of the holidays, something that could be a plant or some sort of decor. But yeah, I'm curious what you came up with, and I hope that you will share it with us in the schoolyard. Show us what you made, tag it with the Student Bulletin tag, and show it to us on social media. You can tag Sketchbook School. This is what I wound up with on this printed paper, and you can't see it at all, but I'm going to paste it in my sketchbook anyway, because I like it. So, thank you so much for joining me on this Friday. I hope that you're all going to do festive things this weekend. I sense some cookie making in my future. I think that's going to be a good time. But I hope you can do something creative, do something for yourself, and have an awesome weekend. And we will see you right back here next week. Actually, next week, Friday is Christmas Day, which I can't even believe it's a week away. So I will not see you next week. We will not have Draw with Me, and we will not have Student Bulletin. We're going to take the week off from those events so that us Sketchbook School staff people can take a break and hang out with our families. But I hope that you have an awesome holiday, whatever you're celebrating, and that we see you in the new year and you are ready for a year of making art and having fun. And I hope everybody stays safe and healthy. Thanks for joining.